Hey everybody, I'm here with one of my dearest friends, and his name is Jim Gale, and a lot of you probably know who Jim Gale is, and you know what he's up to. And he's up to today's message. Today's show is called Feeding the World, except guess what? This one's not full of BS. This is not a dysfunctional belief system. This takes us back to our roots, and no pun intended, but this takes us back to our roots where we actually become family and we actually grow our own food, and we don't do it in the old way of gardening and weeding and breaking our bloody backs all the time and fighting the environment. We're not going to do that anymore. And the reality is what if you could walk down the street, and I mean it, down a sidewalk even, I didn't say down a path, and you're walking down the street and every front yard, okay, backyard if you want to jump their fence, but every front yard becomes actually a place of bounty, okay? And understand that. But you know what? If you want to keep your lawn and you want to get your two-gun father husband out there with his glyphosate, just keep on squirting, because we don't want one dandelion that could actually help to heal liver problems and kidney problems. We've all been programmed to be harvested, and now it's time for us to get back to our roots and harvest the things that are going to help us heal. Jim, what do you think? Oh, wait, one last thing. And I'd love Jim to talk about what we just did this past weekend, and it was called Path to Freedom. It was mind-blowing. The people that came to speak, you want to talk about high vibration? You want to talk about coming with their hearts first? Well, that's what it's all about. It's finding your passion, finding your gift. And if you can find a bunch of people like that, then you're not going to get screwed over. That's the deal.
That's right on, Dr. Wolf. I've been in this awareness now that something is wrong with the world for about 17 years in depth. And I started studying the problem for years. I studied the problem, and a lot of people are going through this now. They're studying the problem all day. Whenever they get a free moment, they're online scrolling, call it doom scrolling, right? Looking for what other problems are out there. And I realized not too long ago, in fact, it was 3 years ago, it was a life-changing realization, that putting all of our attention into the problem only serves those who are creating the problem, because it creates stress and fear and worry and anxiety, and for some it creates humiliation and shame and all of these low vibrational energy structures that are part of the governmente, that are part of the control mechanism to divide and conquer and weaken us. So that's the problem. And I don't want to talk anymore about the problem, because you've already got that. Now, I want to shine a light on the solution, the path to freedom for humanity. And it's as one of my, Bill Mollison, one of my mentors, said, though the problems of our world are increasingly complex, the solutions remain embarrassingly simple. Well, how about lovingly simple? The solutions are really simple, my friends. When we take the poisons out of our lives, of our minds. Fear, by the way, is the ultimate toxin. Fear, humiliation, shame, these are poisons for our spirit. When we start looking towards the solution and start serving people again with joy, and start creating again, manifesting with joy and love, then we're connected. That's the solution. That's the ultimate solution. Sun Tzu's book, The Art of War, know thyself, know thy enemy, 1,000 battles, 1,000 victories. So that's profound. Who are we? We are not just human beings living in some kind of random situation. We are spirit. We are connected to the source of all that is. And so when we recognize and realize that and step into that knowing, that infinite power, and start creating good things again, then when we achieve mass adoption of this, then we literally solve mass extinction and deforestation and cancer and diabetes and heart disease. When we become brave hearts again, we solve all of the world's biggest problems. And it's happening now at scale. In fact, David Icke just popped into my feed as I'm talking here. And what he said a couple of years ago was profound, and it made me smile. Somebody said, David, I'm surprised people aren't waking up faster. And David said, are you kidding me? He said, I've been preaching this for 30 years, and I couldn't get 6 people in a room 30 years ago, or 20 years ago, even 10 years ago. But now, he said, I can fill Wembley Stadium. We are in the ascension of human consciousness, or the expansion might be a better word, because it's not just one direction. Our awareness of what's happening is expanding at the speed of consciousness, which, by the way, is faster than the speed of light. And through this expansion, this awareness, this knowing, then we become the light. And that is so important. So next level, once we become the light in our hearts and in our minds, then we start shining a light on Mother Nature again, on God's design, if you'd like to call it that. And we take the poisons out, and we grow food instead of lawns. And again, this sounds so simple. Right, Dr. Wolf?
Yeah, I know. It's so cool. It's so cool.
It's so simple. It's
so
so
cool.
simple. It's the ultimate mind control is the lawn, right? I just want to show you this is my yard. Now, is this more beautiful to you than a lawn? Well, it is to me. And it's not only more beautiful, right? But it's functional. This is food for people. It's food for animals. And these are all perennial plants. Now, a perennial plant is a plant that you plant once, and it provides food for generations to come, exponentially. Right? This sapote tree right here, this has all sorts of fruit. I'm not sure if you can see here, but there's probably a dozen fruit on this baby tree. And in a year from now, there'll be 5 times that much fruit. In 5 years from now, there'll be 100 times that much fruit on that tree. And what do I have to do to receive it? I don't have to do anything. We put it in the ground, and it's so mind-bending. We put that amazing living being into the ground, and we love her a little bit at the beginning. Make sure that she's got good soil and good plants around the base of her. And we give her a little bit of shade at the beginning. And that living, sentient being will provide exponential love back to us forevermore. As long as we don't cut her down. As long as we don't poison her. Right? That's the power of nature. And every fruit on that tree has multiple seeds. And every one of those seeds is another infinite, exponential, life-giving system. It's literally a free energy system. This hibiscus, look at how beautiful that is. I don't know if you can see that real well.
They can.
But, yeah, all of this is food, my friends. Now, I didn't even plant this, by the way. This just showed up. We call this a volunteer, where somehow a seed landed in the ground right there. And the seed felt, it was given information that is beyond the human brain's ability to comprehend. And now that thing is, 8 feet tall, or maybe even taller, because I'm on a 2-foot deck. It's probably 10 feet tall. It provides so much joy and beauty. So then how do we catalyze a shift? We demonstrate what's possible with God's design or nature, or simply using our land wisely, being the stewards of our land again. When we love our land and we treat her with care, and then we add on the function of design. Design using the permaculture principles is it. When we design our land to be productive, right? This fruit tree, this particular plant didn't just show up here. That was designed into the landscape. And what does that mean? What does it mean that we have these plants in certain areas? Well, this plant likes a certain climate. It likes a certain zone. It likes a certain type of soil. It likes a certain amount of shade and a certain amount of water and all of those details. That's what permaculture design is. We design in the crops, the perennial plants, into the right zone, into the right space, with the right guilds. And then we step back and we let nature do her thing. Like this ideal of the Garden of Eden, which is spoke about at very minimum in the three major religions of our world, right? This idea has been told to us that it's not possible, that it's a utopian fantasy. Well, there it is, my friends. It's all around. This is it. This is a place where I can walk outside my house and I can get an abundance of food anytime I want. Now, what's happening in a lot of your minds right now, the programs are coming to the surface. You're saying, I can't do that here because blah, 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 right? You can do this in your closet. You can do this on your kitchen counter. You can do this if you have this much land. Like, let's just say the land the size of this little deck here, right? I'd say this is maybe 200 square feet of deck space. If this is soil, or even just on your deck, we could put raised bed planters around the edge of this deck, and we could then plant seeds in those planters. And those seeds could bring flowers and beauty. A lot of these perennial plants have flowers, and they're incredibly beautiful. So we're not losing anything. We're gaining everything by using our land and our resources and our space to be producers as well as consumers, right? I'm a consumer. I'm also a producer. When we make this simple shift, when people become producers as well as consumers at scale, then we create a parallel economy. We supplant the current economy that is meant to enslave and control us. It's literally this simple. And what does it take? It takes you becoming enlightened, which is the light mente, which is the opposite of governmente, which is simply a mind free of programming. When we step into the awareness that we can be producers for our own benefit, and as a result of being a producer for your own benefit, you now become a benefit to the world, because you're not just taking, you're actually creating abundance as well. And so I encourage you, I'd like to inspire you and empower you to become a producer. So then, and this started 2 decades ago, it started asking the question, how do we fill all of the supply chain layers? How do we take the current system, the problems, and turn them into the solutions? How do we win the war? This can be called a war, right? The big one. Well, it's by inspiring and empowering you. So then what we've done, and this is where our movement comes in, and to create all the layers and to put them all in. Food Forest Abundance is not only the name of our entity, it's the intention, right? Food forests everywhere equals freedom on a global scale. So, foodforestabundance.com, we have attracted a group of incredible designers, permaculture designers, and their whole mission in life is to design life into systems, to design habitat that will create infinite abundance for you, your family, your community. And this just popped into my head, so I'm going to share this. The food supply chain is in big trouble, my friends. It's already been poisoned. It's already collapsed in the ways of function. right? The food supply now, most food is controlled by BlackRock. BlackRock is not only the name, it's also the intention. By their deeds you shall know them. By their fruits you shall know them. So then let's step into the solution. Be the change, as Gandhi said. Be the solution by creating food without poisons. And if you want to speed up time, and by the way, this can be done on resourcefulness alone. You don't have to spend any money to create your own Garden of Eden, but you do have to take action. If you don't take action, then you're not going to do anything. Taking action might be as simple as this. Take the $20 that you have for your next 2 days food budget, right? And go to the store and pick foods that are grown without poisons. Pick organic foods that have seeds in them. And enjoy the foods. Take the seeds out and plant them in the soil. If you say, I don't have soil, then go get a bucket of soil. You can get soil for free. You can get a bucket for free. Right? So this is not about spending money. This is about being resourceful and taking action. Right? And if you want to also speed up time, then you can get a hold of your local permaculture network. You can get a hold of us at foodforestabundance.com, and one of our professional designers is standing by to serve you. They will happily speak with you for 30 minutes at no cost. Then if you decide, if it makes sense for you based on your land, your budget, and your desires to take the next step into getting a design, then that's what they'll also help you do. My motivations are very clear. I am self-serving because I've got 4 daughters, and I recognize that this is the path to global freedom. This is the path to peace on earth. And let's get really deep here. Is this possible? Relatively speaking, is peace on earth even possible? Well, let's get into it. I just met with Bobby Kennedy last Friday. We had a one-on-one sit-down, and I shared with him the campaign strategy that would not only win him the election, but it would create peace on earth. And by the way, my friends, I'm 100% aware of controlled opposition. I'm completely aware that we are all controlled opposition at certain levels of our awareness. At times, I will get angry. At times, I will send videos of the destruction that's happening around the world right now. And then other people on the other side, on the receiving end, will feel bad, humiliation, shame, anger, rage. Those emotions are the control mechanism that divide and conquer our spirits. Yeah. So, with that said, I step into the present and I quit being controlled opposition. And I want to share that these people, the people that we've looked up to and held on a pedestal, the Trumps and the Kennedys and all of the people that are the social media influencers, the candidates for the highest offices of our land, we are controlled opposition, but not through awareness of it. We are not none of us are truly on the side of evil. All right? We might have been corrupted by evil. We might take the side of evil ignorantly at times. But then, this is the most fun part for me. Every man and woman can be inspired. No matter how far down the rabbit hole they've gone, no matter how controlled they've been, they can wake up to the truth that will serve them. And this is key, right? The best thing, and I'm saying this to Bobby Kennedy, who I really appreciated our conversation. I'm saying this to the world. If Bobby Kennedy steps past the narrative of endorsing one genocidal entity over another, if he steps into the narrative of truth, of peace, of love, if he rises the narrative to say, I'm for peace, I'm not for war, that's what's going to happen, I believe. Because it's best for him, it's best for the world, it's best for everybody. And let's get really detailed, really tactical here. Imagine if through the influencers, like all of us, and by the way, everybody listening to this is an influencer. And if you can influence yourself, if that's the only thing you start with is influencing yourself out of the narrative of suffering and fear and scarcity, and you influence yourself into the truth of the matter, that there's love and divine energy everywhere, then you've got it made, because from there, infinite things are possible. So anyway, let's become influencers, and let's call on the other influencers of our world. Imagine if this happened. What would be the result if the people of Israel, who have, relatively speaking, a lot of resources and a lot of money and a lot of financial abilities, what if we supported the people of Israel, and they, instead of people worried about the people from Palestine breaking the fence down coming into Israel, what if it went the other way? What if the people of Israel got together and they had baskets of food, truckloads of food, and seeds, and permaculture designers, and water, and love? And what if they busted down the fence going the other way? What do you think would happen? Do you think the armies of Israel would shoot their own people? Well, I believe that they would be asked to do so. But what would actually happen is it would break down the barriers of hatred, and it would stop the recruitment of the war machine. When the people of Israel stand together and bust down that border, when they go across that wall to serve their brothers and sisters on the other side of the wall, we will see peace on earth, my friends. This has been coming to me so clearly lately. So let's stop the war narrative. Let's stop rooting for the Chinese or the Russians or the Americans or the Israelis or the Palestinians. Let's stop that belief system. It's BS. It's bad science. It's belief systems. It's bullshit. It's control. Let's instead start rooting for the people. Let's instead start cheering for peace. And that will destroy the narrative of war. And that will create and lead to the golden age, which is coming, my friends. It's unstoppable. The question is, will you and I be around to enjoy it or not? And here's how we do that. When we serve our communities, when we serve ourselves by becoming enlightened and recognizing that service is the ultimate reflection, right? When we serve with love and no expectations, when we simply serve because it feels so good to serve, then what will happen, and what has been happening to me, and I'm so grateful for, is since I have literally let go of all of my, and here's the funny part, it's the most selfish thing I could ever do, right? So it's a contrast. In a system of abundance like this world is, service literally creates the best world for me. So there's no reason not to serve other than ignorance, right? But let's serve strategically and tactically, and let's serve with love being the ultimate strategy and tactic. Dr. Wolf, I've rambled on for a little bit.
No, you didn't. You didn't ramble. You didn't ramble. Can you talk about, I'd like you to talk about something I think is really important, is you come from a place that there is no authority above you on this planet. I want you to go into it as shallow or as deep as you want, but you know, when you were talking about people just finding themselves and getting to it and taking massive personal action, I believe that we've been brainwashed to believe that authority knows better, and if we don't follow the authority, we're going to get spanked or in trouble. And I'm only going to say one little thing. This is why I come on here and I say it very often. There is no authority over me on this planet. I only have source creator that I consciously follow, and nothing else scares me. There's no government or military or the police or anybody that is over me. And I say that over and over again because that illusion is chokeholding every one of our brothers and sisters around the world to the point of anger. So, you know, you come from a place that you have done it on all levels. You don't kowtow to the government or the medical system or any systems unless they are serving the betterment of humankind. And I just want you to comment on it because you've done it so masterfully on all levels.
Yeah, brother, it's been an evolution of awareness, and I have made a lot of mistakes, and I'm ignorant in infinite ways. But the one thing I know for certain is that I am no longer controlled. We are demonstrating this. We are 100% off grid. We've got 10 tiny homes here and 5 kind of normal homes or larger homes here. We did not ask for permission to build these homes. And people say, oh my God, you're going to get shut down. Many people, very famous people who you all know have said, Jim, you need a security detail or you're going to get whacked. Whatever. That is irrelevant to me because this isn't me. This isn't the real me. This is the temporary me, right? I'm expressing source and spirit through this vehicle right now. And once I recognized that, then I said very clearly, I am not going to comply. In fact, Larkin Rose wrote a book called The Most Dangerous Superstition. And that is our belief in authority, a belief system, a BS that has been programmed in our minds. In fact, when you think about it this way, either if you believe in the perspective of evil or simply that there are families around the world, the kings and queens and czars and rulers of our world, their one job in life is to control the mind of the asset.
That's it.
We're not people. We're assets to them. We're nothing. And if we're not serving them, then they take us out. The one superstition, the most dangerous superstition, is that authority has power over us. There's only one authority that has power over me and you. And that is what I call, because I grew up in Minnesota, God, right? The people on the other side of the world might call this the Tao, or might call this Shiva, or Buddha, or Krishna, or Allah, or any of these other names for the one source of all life. And so I look to God, and I understand God. And I'm not saying I comprehend all of God. I'm saying that that's the one thing I stand under or with. I do not understand the insane people and the other entities that are causing harm and destruction. So we've done this all without anybody's permission but God's permission. And here's the fun part. We are building life here. And life is coming here at scale. And nobody's bothering us. Now, is that interesting? We've built 10 homes. They know exactly what we're doing, and we're inviting them in. By the way, this is not, the narrative of peace is throughout everything we're doing. The narrative of service and abundance. So we are inviting the good people of the county here to join us. Because we want them to join us. They have the infrastructure. They have the means. They have the land. Imagine, and I'll give you a detail on this. Imagine when Governor DeSantis, right? Imagine when 5% of the Florida state budget people actually serving the people. Well, let's look at what that would mean. 5%, currently 17% of the budget here goes to social services of different kinds. If only 5% of that went to putting food forests in city parks and opportunity zones and schools, 5% of the Florida budget over 4 years is $18 billion. That equates to 18,000 $1 million food forest installations in the state of Florida. That means a food forest, $1 million food forest, in every school, every city park. We would create food security in Florida. In 4 years, Florida would be the healthiest state in the nation. And it would be a beacon of light, a demonstration model for all the world. Now, this is already happening in cities around the world. India is taking off with it. China is taking off with it. Russia is taking off with it. My messages are being asked for and relayed to these people in these other countries at pretty high levels in their governmenting. I'm not saying I agree with any of their governments. I'm saying that the people are starting to take action, because that's what it's about, my friends. It's not about taking directives from the entities that are trying to control and harm us anymore. It's about standing up as individuals and serving ourselves, our families, and then our communities and our world.
Mm-hmm. Can you talk about Path to Freedom, what just happened last weekend, and about your documentary that you're working on? Everybody, the information you're going to get from the lecturer, the lectures that he had, the people that came to speak, it will be mind-blowing. Jim?
Yeah. It's really exciting that people are recognizing this truth. Many, many, many people from around the world who have a lot of influence are saying, I want to be part of this. And so we're coming together, and we have complete collaboration is the key. Like, together, we win this war. Apart, we don't. So we have to rise above this idea of corporate structure and equity and control and NDAs and patents and I gotta keep it. We have to rise above. We get to, because it's the most self-serving thing we could ever do, is to rise above that. And so what's happened, because of this narrative and this message and the power of it, we have incredible people from around the world coming to put in pieces of the freedom puzzle. Braveheart Nation, every one of us has a piece of this freedom puzzle. You and I. And don't ever think yourself too small to have a piece of the puzzle.
Absolutely.
That's a controlled belief system. That's BS. You are your own. You are your own savior, right? Don't look for anything else other than connection with God and save yourself. It's the ultimate ability to respond, or responsibility, is to take 100% responsibility for your own health, your own wellness, your own being, and rise up. And anyway, so these folks have come together. We now have a TV show funded that we have a documentary that'll come from the day that we had on the Path to Freedom. And then we have another TV show coming following that, where we're going to be going into schools and prisons and orphanages and churches and all of the logical places. And we're going to be putting food for us. We're going to be designing and installing systems that create exponential love and joy and habitat and abundance forevermore for our grandkids and beyond. And yes, there'll be another struggle, another fight. That's human nature in some ways, to look for contrast, right? It's through the suffering of the last, especially the last 3 years, that we have grinded down our egos, and we have expanded and erupted through the suffering, right? And so I'm not saying suffering is not part of the system. The yin and the yang is all part of the system. But we're at the end of the pendulum swing.
Yes, we
right?
are.
We have destroyed and created so much pain and suffering. The earth, Mother Nature, it's all erupting. And it's saying, it's time. It's time to let go of that and to enjoy life and to manifest and come together again.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing, Jim. It really is. So how do people get in touch with you? Because that's so important, everyone. You know, check out his information, watch his videos. You know, I'm going to tell you something. Repetition is what you need before you'll ever take massive personal action, because you have to get your subconscious to buy into a new belief system. And you know what? We could be giving you a belief system that will set you free, that will make you more empowered, that could help to feed you and your family, to take away your fears. And guess what? Your subconscious is still going to block it until you keep on keeping on with it. When I say something to you, I want you not to think about it. I want you to feel it. You have to feel your way through. That is everything. When we feel our way through and we don't think our way through, we will not make a mistake. When you think your way through, you've been programmed to derail yourself and to shut doors or not open doors that you think that you don't have what it takes. And it's not the God's truth. The God's truth is that, guess what? You think about how it makes you feel. And if it makes you feel good, don't let family, friends, or the world get in the way, because guess what? Down the road, it may take weeks or months or even a year. Your family will thank you for holding the line, even though they didn't want to make the move either, because we have been taught to fear even the things that would actually set us free. Jim?
Absolutely right. Feelings are the pathway. It's through the feeling that we get to consciousness, that
Yes.
we get to awareness. So we've been taught to avoid and to chemically castrate the feelings out of our lives. No. Go right through it. Meditate into the feeling, and that's where the awareness will come.
Until it becomes a walking meditation that you are going through the world, no matter what bombs, what explosions, what bumps are in front of you, you'll slow down, connect to your breath, and you will not take it on. You will breathe it out. You will not take it in. And you will mind your own business. That's MOOB. It's a movement. It's a movement. And that's it. Mind your own business. Find your passion. Find your purpose. And the world's waiting for you to gift them. Just like, look what Jim's done. Do you know how much BS he's had to put up with? Or how much he probably scared his family by saying, I'm going to get this big piece of property and just grow food and show people how to do it. And they're going, well, how are you going to feed us? I mean, we'll have all this food, but our family needs more than that, Jim. Trust me.
That's right.
This was not an easy task. So don't even think about what he's created. Think about what he went through and how he had to have faith in himself and stay connected to source. That's what you need to think about.
That's exactly right, brother. And if anybody out there is interested in being part of this, we help people take their fiat and turn it into real life, right? So if you want to invest in any way, we are open to that, and we take that investment and we steward that money to the best of our ability into freedom for humanity.
So everybody, you want to go to foodforestabundance.com or galtzlanding.farm. Okay, and like Jim said, if you want to have a free consultation and just look at it, and you got to remember something, you're not going to call with a free consultation and then guess what? They want to sell you a condo in Florida. The reality is these are beautiful people taking their time, and you don't have to buy anything. What you need to do is buy into your dream, buy into yourself. Jim?
That's exactly right, brother. Thank you so much for all that you do. Thank you, everybody. Together we win this war and we change the world.
Have a beautiful day, Jim, and just keep growing.
I love you, brother.
Okay.
Talk soon.
Bye, my friend.
Ciao.
Ciao. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining me earlier this morning, or for other places around the world, it's in the afternoon. Some places it's at evening. But the reality is sit down and create what I would like to call a contract for a hero. And sit down and make a contract on the things that you wished you would have done, or the things that you know you're scared to do, and make a contract and look at that every morning when you wake up and just when you go to bed, just for 3 to 5 minutes, and keep on working on that contract for a hero, and get yourself from a victim to a hero. Get yourself from a victim to a healer. Get yourself from a victim to becoming the light for your family. So write up a contract and keep looking at it. And every day, I want you to push yourself to the point that it scares you a little, but excites you a lot. Okay? I want to thank you for joining me. For those of you, some people asked here, yes, our Black Friday Shine Your Light sale is on this week and next week. And I'm working on a very big app, and it's called Braveheart Nation app. It will be released in April, and it will have some of the biggest people in the world coming on, and they'll be able to speak and tell the truth. Nobody will be able to take them down. This is a platform that we've been working on, and we've actually created an app that no one else has done, I don't believe. At least that's what we're told. And this app is a gift. It's a gift to everybody. And I want to thank everybody for being on today. And you just have the best day of your life. Connect to your breath. You know, if you ever focus on that you're breathing, okay, that's the only place you can heal. If you focus on that you're actually breathing, it'll connect you to source. If you focus on that you're breathing, it's the only place that you can actually create and have power. You lose power when you're always in the future. You know, when we get there, it'll be better. And when you're in the past, having any regrets. Get rid of all your regrets. Get rid of your chokeholds. Get rid of the belief systems that believe that you're not worthy to be loved unconditionally by that which created the whole universe. Have the best day of your life, and just know this. 3, 2, 1. We got this, Braveheart Nation. And I will be starting my world tour. It'll be an 8-month world tour in Ixtapa, Mexico. And we will be going at the Cala del Mar 4-Diamond Resort. And we will be teaching there our whole life coach certification, our Wolf non-surgical certification, our women's pelvic restoration masterclass. It's 3 days. And then our Braveheart Circle for those who would like to see if you can possibly unconditionally love yourself. And that would be something, wouldn't it? Because you could teach that to others. And then from there, we will be going from Mexico. We will be going to Barrie, Canada, Ontario. Then we're going to Sacramento, California. We've rented this huge mansion where we will be teaching all of the courses there as well. And then from there, we'll be going to Bonita, Florida. And then from there, we will also be doing our Kelowna, British Columbia. We'll also be doing Australia. And we're also going just 45 minutes outside of London, England, to a huge, beautiful resort. Oh, and we've tried to make everything to the price that people can afford it as much as possible. And just know that all my courses right now, because of Black Friday and for a limited time, if you decide you want to, or you've ever wanted to join a course, you'll get 10% off, okay? 10% off any of the courses if you decide you'd like to join us, okay? All right, again, I will be on a couple more times today. I'm going to be featuring some people and talking. This is what I do around this time of year. You know, we were on the road for 9 months, traveling around, doing free lectures and doing our New World Practitioner trainings. And if you're interested in that, please go to braveheartnation.com or bhnuniversity.com and check that out. And just know this, if it's not the right time, you can't afford it for some reason, go to my library, and I promise you, if you were to go through my library master classes, we used to charge $1,000 for some of these classes. They're all free now, okay? This is no time to put money before that. I mean, I've got to make money to keep everything rolling, my app, the university, and our clinic in Canada, and our place in Mexico. But the reality is we've got to get the information out. What information can you share with people to empower them on a nutritional, emotional, physical, spirit level? What can you do today? Well, the first thing you can do is to wear a slight smile everywhere you go, okay, in case I need to find you. And when people are losing their crap everywhere, and we know that. People are losing their crap everywhere, okay? Understand something, and I mean it in the nicest way, but they are. I believe that the people that got this, they're losing it even faster, okay? Because you have to understand, this thing, okay, was never about the you know what thing, the flu, the cold. It was never about that. And remember something, just so you know, everyone, and I would like to be challenged on this, but the COVID virus and HIV virus has never been isolated. Nobody's ever seen it under a microscope. So the reality is, does it really exist? Well, I don't believe so. I believe that the only thing that exists is fear. And let's pray for our brothers and sisters who did it once, or did it this thing once, twice, or 3 times, or 4 times. Okay, it's not us against them. Okay, understand that. All right, you don't know better until you know better. Okay, just love yourself and see if you can just drop the gauntlet. Okay, on everything. Okay, let's see if you can find your passion, find your purpose, and mind your own business. Okay, and then really get good at that. And minding your own business, meaning finding what you're really good at and what you love, and then please go out and share it with the world. Have a beautiful day.